Hello everybody and welcome to your next tutorial. Now before I start, congratulations to the Cardinals and all you Cardinal fans out there. I know you guys are happy. I'm happy on the victory for another World Series, so congratulations to the Cardinals. So anyways, let's get started on this tutorial. So in this tutorial we're going to be learning about sprites, about fonts, and loading fonts into the game and using fonts within your game. So there's a numerous amount of stuff you're going to learn here. You're going to learn about vector 2 positions, which allow to position your font on the screen. You're also going to learn about you'll use a little bit of strings, learn about colors, and most importantly about the content pipeline and the sprite batch and all that stuff. Now it seems like a lot, but it's pretty easy to get used to. So first of all, I mentioned something called the content pipeline. Now what's important in this tutorial is that we're gonna need the graphics, the content, and the XNA framework. So if you were to make another class or whatever, that would transfer the stuff to the game1.cs, then those are the files that you would need to include in order to use some of the functions that we need. So anyways, for the content pipeline, this is where you will put most if not all, the things that you're loading into your game, like graphics and other stuff, right? Or maps or anything that you want to load. So the content pipeline basically comes like you can make content processors, content importers, all that neat stuff, but right now all we use the content pipeline is to load stuff. That's the basics of it. So this is where we put everything that we want to load into the game, the content folder. So anyways, we're going to be learning about sprites. So let's go and right click right here and click add new item, and we see bitmap, XML file, effect file, and sprite font. We want to put a sprite font. A sprite font is simply a font, and you can name it whatever you want. Make sure it's .sprite font, but name it whatever you want. I'll leave it a sprite font 1. Okay, so once you click OK, you'll see this screen pop up. Now it's the XML file. You'll learn about XML files later on, but basically that's the name of the font that we're using. That's the size of the font. That's how much space between the letters. Kerning, I'm not really sure what that does, but I never use it anyways. And the style, so if it's regular, bold, italics, or whatever. So sorry. Okay, so now let's get started. So now that we have that, you notice the sprite font 1 is in the content folder. So let's X this out. Now normally we want to organize the content folder, because if you have like tons of graphics and stuff, it has to be organized. So let's add a new folder and let's name it, and let's go to rename and name it font, and we're gonna drag the sprite font into this font folder just to make it more organized. So one thing that before we even start, I want you to go to your project name, properties, and a window like this should show up. Now most of yours will be selected to use high definition. You might want to switch it to use reach, because high definition, your computer might not be able to like use high definition or something, and you might get an error when you run your programs. So if you get an error, that might be the reason why you get the error. So anyway, select reach and click Control S to save, and you can exit out. So let's go to game1.cs, and there's gonna be three things we're gonna add. Sprite font. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna name that font 1 semicolon. Vector 2. We're gonna name it position, and string text. So sprite font, we're gonna load the font into font 1 to position where on the screen where the font's gonna be, and the text. Now any of you that use that have watched my Lego tutorials, you're wondering how can we just have one thing for position, then we have to have X and Y. Well, the neat thing about vector 2, like if you've used SFML or something like that, basically the vector 2 stores both the X and Y position in one variable, so it's easier to manage. So you'll see it work later on. So let's make use of some of the functions that XNA gives us. So let's go to initialize, and we're gonna put position is equal to new vector 2 and the position on the screen where we want to start drawing. So we're gonna draw the coordinate 0, 0. That's where we're gonna start drawing our text. Now in programming in XNA, the coordinate 0, 0 start at the top left corner. So the coordinate X, the value 0 is at the top left corner, and same for Y. So the top left corner is coordinate 0, 0 in space, or in like the computer space or whatever in the graphics. So once you move further right on the screen, then you can that's increasing the X value, and going towards left the screen is decreasing the X value. When you go up on the screen, you're decreasing the Y value, and when you go down the screen, you're increasing the Y value. And this will make more sense later once you get into drawing sprites and stuff. And if you've used Allegro or SFML or anything, it's the same coordinate system, nothing different. So right here, and it's not just Allegro and SFML and stuff, and I think SDL is the same way. It's most of the graphics libraries that are at the top left corner if you've used any before. So let's put text. Just gonna put this is coding made easy, and that's it. So now you're wondering, what about the font 1? Are we gonna initialize it? No, we're gonna go to our load content method, and we're gonna load the content. Now you see how it says used content to load your game content here. So we're gonna load the content below this. So follow closely. I'm gonna put font 1 equals content dot load left stream operator sprite font right stream operator, and the directory where the file is. So font slash sprite font 1. If you notice, it's in font, and the file name is sprite font 1. You don't have to put dot sprite font. You just put the file's name. Now what just went on here? You guys are probably confused. Let me just check the time. Okay, so basically I loaded the content, right? Now you're like, what is this right here? Well, the content pipeline can load a lot of things such as textures, models, videos, audio, a lot, like anything that can be loaded into the game. So it needs to know what it's loading. So in between the left stream and right stream operators, we put where we're loading, and then we put the directory. And at the beginning, all you just have to put is content.load to load the content, right? So let's go to the draw method. Yeah. Well, as you can see, there's something here called sprite batch, and sprite batch is has a set of functions that you can use to draw certain things to the screen. And I'm not gonna get too in depth about the sprite batch. Sprite batch. You'll learn more about it later. But this is what we need to use to draw text and stuff to the screen. So before we start anything, let's go down to the draw method. And you see how you get the cornflower blue kind of thing when you open the window? It's because of this function right here, just so you know. So below here, we're gonna put spritebatch.begin and spritebatch.end. Now, if it's not straightforward, it's basically saying we're starting to draw and we'll end drawing after here. So we can't do any drawing after that. So after that, I'm gonna put drawstring, and there's 6 different overloads that you can use, but we're gonna use the first overload. So the sprite font that we're gonna draw is font 1. The text that we want to draw is stored in the variable text. The position is stored in the variable position, and the color, we're gonna put color white for white color. And let's click F5 to run it, and that's what you get. So it says this is coding made easy. So simple enough. So say we didn't want to use these default values and we wanted to declare it at runtime, right? So for sprite font, well, we obviously have to use font 1 because we have to load it before. And for the text, I don't have to use a string, a variable. I can declare my string in here, so I can put this is an XNA production. Oh, I can't type right now. And for vector 2, I could just put new vector 2, and I'll just put 100, 100, and then declare the color. And if I run this, it says this is an XNA production. The location is updated, and everything else is updated. Say I want to change the color. Sorry. I could put color dot, and it shows all the list of colors I could use. So I could put turquoise, change the color. So this could be very effective in the game for menus and all that neat stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. The next tutorial will be coming soon. So thanks for watching this. Hope you enjoyed, and bye.